The American Housewife is presented by Midtown Foods, your hometown grocers, celebrating 22 years of loyal service to Winona with 2 convenient locations to serve you. Quality and value always, Midtown Foods. Visit North Castle Specialties. Our showroom has a wide variety of items, including our one-of-a-kind line of Lloydware designs. Stop in at 1260 Sugarloaf Road, Winona.
Hi, my name is Tammy Engstler, and this is the American Housewife.
This show is a snapshot of a real Midwest household, not the kitchen of some French chef, or a shop of a professional seamstress, or the garden of a master gardener. Come into my home, and together we will learn new things, develop new skills, and hopefully have some fun too.
Today's episode is on carrots. Carrots can be very versatile, from hot dishes, which we'll have one, and desserty, muffiny kind of things with thick, oozy frosting. Hope you enjoy. Carrots have always been a sore spot at our house. I wanted to do like a toilet paper roll and put one seed everywhere so that it would grow perfectly, and Mark just dumps them in, and then we weed them out a little bit later, and they grow that way too. And so I'm going to try dumping. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but here you go. So we're just going to sprinkle. Woo! Get out of there, onion. Now I'm going to sprinkle these on, and then I'll cover them up after I have a whole package in. These ones are scarlet. Let's see if I can get the right name. Nantes, and I'm pretty sure that's what we had last year. And we had such wonderful carrots. I mean, we're still eating carrots from last year. Like all great baking recipes, they begin with a preheated oven. 350 degrees preheating for our carrot muffins. We're going to start with our wet ingredients. We're going to have 3 eggs, and we're going to break them into a 2-cup cup so that we can lightly beat them. Lightly. White sugar, which is 1 1/8 cup. Very strange measurements in this recipe that I got off the internet. I was kind of confused by it in a bit. So 1 1/8 cup of white sugar and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And we're supposed to put them in the bowl and mix them together, and then we add the oil. This starts like any other recipe for breads or muffins or things like of that sort. It has the sugars creamed with either the eggs or the butter, and then the oil of some kind in there. And that was 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. We're going to go with 1 teaspoon, and usually the caps measure that out. It looks good. Chasing my oil and vanilla around the bowl because it doesn't want to go together with my stuff. Oh, there we go. fold in our carrots, 2 cups worth. Now, I know you see this little baggie and wonder what the heck. Well, this was last year's produce. And before I want to put the next year's produce in the freezer, I want to use up some of the produce that I had in the freezer so that I don't have to label it and figure out which year was which. I just making it up and using it. So this is carrots from last year, trying to use up before I harvest my carrots from this year. Fold those in, and it calls for a 1/2 cup of crushed pineapple. Well, kids don't always like to eat crushed pineapple, and so I had been starting to buy the rings. Well, when you buy the rings, you don't have crushed pineapple on hand. So I need a 1/2 cup. So I'm going to take 3 rings, and I'm going to break them up a bit, and I'm going to put them in my food processor and crush them. I only need a 1/2 cup. So I'm pretty sure this will be enough. If not, you know what? I'd rather have too much the first time. I'm going to add 1 more ring than to have to redo. This recipe doesn't have much for liquid, so this is helping with the liquid in this recipe. I'm just going to do it on low, pulsing. Make sure that my chunks are small enough. I'm going to shove it down in there and give it a big nice whirl on high and be done. When I got this food processor, I thought, how crazy is it to have a small itty-bitty food processor? Don't you need the big one? And I probably have used this one more than I've done my big one because I can do a can of this or that. I did baby food with it for the kids all the time. Still got some pretty good sized chunks. One more time. Looks good. Ooh, it looked like a 1/2 cup. I probably should have measured it. So there's our liquid ingredients. Now we add our dry ingredients. We have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and a teaspoon of salt. I have 1 1/2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ginger. It's not deciding to come out of my bowl. And our leavening agent is soda, 1 1/4 teaspoons of soda. Now we want to have this nicely mixed together so that when we put it in there, that all we have to do is get the ingredients mixed together. We don't want to overmix because that's when the problems start, when you have too much. Now we fold in the walnuts at the end, but I want to have them all chopped. This is my walnut chopper, or nut chopper, and you can do it either way. You can either put the nuts in here and turn it upside down and go, or else. This is about 1/2 cup up here, so then I just fill the top and go. When I was a little girl, my grandmother had one of these in her kitchen, and when she would bake, I always thought it was the neatest thing, and she kept her nuts in here and just upside down, and then she'd put them in, and she, baked by sight, so she knew exactly how much she needed and never really measured it out, but it was the coolest thing. Well, one time I was at a garage sale, and I know it was the strangest thing to have to buy, but I had to buy this because it reminded me so much of my grandma, and it just was like the epitome of baking is, have this nut thing that, does your nuts for you. I don't know. Maybe I'm nutty. Now it's time to add in our flour mixture. It says mix flour mixture into the carrot mixture until evenly moist. So I'm going to dump it all in and then kind of fold it to make it all evenly moist. I was afraid that this had not enough liquid, but now I'm wondering if I have too much liquid in here. We might have to just bake them a little longer. Evenly moist. I'm trying not to stir too much and just kind of like fold it in, but I'm a stirrer by nature. I stir everything. Too much, probably. And here we go. All stirred in evenly. As good as I can do it without mixing it more. We're going to take half of these walnuts and pour them in here, and then we use the rest of them for garnish on the tops of our muffins after they come out, after we make the cream cheese frosting. I have a good friend that does a lot of muffin making, and she said that the foils work better because it doesn't stick to the muffin as much. So I have some foil ones, and I put them in so that I can try it just in case to see. So this is a scoop, and this scoop is actually for the larger cookies, and so it takes like 1.5 to do the muffins, but I think we'll do probably like 2 in each muffin tin, and that should be just about right for our muffins. Back to, it's about 3/4 full with about 1/4 to the top. Perfect. Maybe I have too much batter because I have enough for a whole nother pan. I'm going to do the minis though, and I'm going to spray them because I don't have the papers for them. I ran out and haven't replaced them. So I want to make sure they're sprayed good. Otherwise I'm going to have to spend a lot of time cleaning them. I'm just going to use up the rest of my dough here. So I wouldn't want it to go to waste. These ones are going to be high toppers. I have a big chunk of pineapple I'm fighting with in the bowl. These little muffin pans come in handy. It's amazing how many times you make muffins and you have too much dough for the recipe that it calls for. And I just make another pan of mini ones, and personally I like the mini ones better because then I can just pop one in my mouth. And then I don't feel so bad because I'm not eating a big one, I'm just eating a little one. But 4 little ones probably add up to more than one big one. But we won't tell, as they taste so good, no matter what size they are. So in the pans go, and because there's big ones and little ones, we'll have to watch it a little closer. There's our big ones. Little ones take about 10 minutes, and the big ones will take about 25 to 30, depending. When we take the little ones out, we will move the big pan sideways and just keep an eye on them. When they start to come up and pop and have a little crack at the top, and there's no goo, visible goo, and you can take a toothpick and dunk it in, they should be done. Or else maybe they'll be overdone. We'll have to figure it out. Well, let's make dinner now. We got about an hour before we usually eat dinner, so I'm cut some of the carrots really, really thin on the food processor. See, they're pretty thin. They're thinner than I would want to cook them off and put them in the freezer, because then when you pull them out, they'd be mush. So we're going to make a hot dish with them, with carrots and potatoes. So meet me over there. I'm going to spray my pan so it's easier to clean later. And I'm going to put my carrots on the bottom. They tend to be harder to get cooked off. They take longer. So I would say this is about 3 cups of thinly sliced carrots. And what we're going to do with those, next, we're going to take a can of cream soup. I have cream of chicken here. You could do pretty much any cream soup you want. Seems like everybody has their own preference. Some people don't like cream of mushroom. Some people love cream of mushroom. So what you depend. This is cream of chicken. And we're going to put probably a half a can or so of milk in there. And we'll grab our pepper. A couple turns of that. And then we're going to make a mess. Something we're really good at. And that's enough stirred. We want to just put some, drizzle it on the carrots. We don't want to like slop it in too much because we want it more on top because it will cook down. You could do a white sauce with this too, but right now that sounds like a little bit more work than I want to do. Someday we will do one like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the food processor. I've already peeled my potatoes and now I need to slice them in the food processor. More than anything, it's just seeing if your potato will fit in here. These potatoes are potatoes from either our garden or my husband's parents. The potatoes are sliced and they're in like a pile, so I'm just going to lay them out over the carrots. These are a couple different kinds. Some of them are from our garden. Some of them are from my husband's parents' garden. And I don't think it's going to be a big deal if one tastes like one's white and one's yellow, but they're all going to be tasting like potatoes once we get them cooked. You hear food smacking in the background. We got snacks going on in here before this gets cooked off. Now, if you haven't been with me before, you know, or if you have, this is the hamburger that we've browned off and we put in the freezer so that it's easier. And all I have to do is go down and grab a container of it and sprinkle it on or sprinkle it in or put it in anywhere I want to put it. I can make spaghetti sauce really quick. I can do lots of things really quick if my meat's ready. So we're going to sprinkle this on top. And we have our cream soup. And I'm going to cut some onions up. Ooh, greasy hands and tough onions don't work together very well. Okay. These are onions from our garden also. Ugh. Okay, hear me? I'll try to stop saying that. I'm going to keep them a little bit of big chunk because they're going to be in the oven long enough to get cooked up. These should break up into smaller pieces. We'll just put them over the top. They'll get soft. Onions on top of the hamburger. They smell good. And I think I have some garlic powder in here. And we'll take some parsley too. Just sprinkle over the top. I don't use this very much. If you can hear the rattling, that's the garlic powder. Our family loves cheese. We put cheese in a lot of things. This is mild, but we eat all kinds. So we're gonna shred some mild off. Probably end up being a cup or so. It's mild cheddar this time. Usually we use sharp or extra sharp, but it was on sale, so I just picked up a little bit of everything, and this is what I put in something last night. What did I put it in? I don't remember what I made last night now. Oh, I made a bread thing with cheese in it. Well, I'll do that one for you some other time. Now we're just going to pour this over the top. Now our potatoes and all of our cheese and the cream soup and the carrots, they're going to all have their own juice too. So it's going to end up being that this will get really juicy. And to even help it out a little bit more, I'll put some foil on the top, and that will help hold in all the juices that are in here. And it will all cook in and down and around with each other. Smells good already because the hamburger's done. It's gonna not take nearly as long. So we'll just keep checking it until the carrots and the potatoes are tender. See you when it's done. So we're just going to do a cream cheese frosting, and we're going to kind of follow theirs. They have an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, which I had one in the freezer, so it will be a little grainy, but it'll still be fine. I have 2 tablespoons of butter here to help kind of bring it together a little bit better. And they had a whole bunch of different extracts, orange and whatever else. We're just going to go with vanilla, and we're going to whip this together to get it nice and smooth. Now they say to go for 4 cups of this powdered sugar, but you know what? I'm more of the sight kind of person, and I don't sift it because that'd be extra work. So, and my philosophy is you're just going to eat it. I mean, yeah, you eat with your eyes. Give me a break. If you know well enough what your eyes are seeing, you're going to want to eat it anyway. So here's about 2 cups. We'll start with that. We're just going to mix it into this cream cheese and the butter with the vanilla. And then if it gets to be too thick, we'll add some milk at the end. With your rubber scraper, make sure you get all the powdered sugar off the edges. And just keep mixing. Well, our first 2 cups did what they were supposed to do and kind of bring it all together, but now got about 2 more cups to go to give it enough body to be able to put it on something. Right now it just oozes right off. My bag and I aren't getting along. Now that looks just about right. If it's a little bit thick, it will be okay because we can put on our muffins hot. Perfect. I checked it about 15 minutes ago and it was looking really good. It's now looking really good. Starting to brown around the edges. Look at that. Cheese, onions, and carrots. What we're going to do is we're going to dig around in here to find a carrot. Oh yeah, everything's falling apart really nice. And it looks, and it's starting to like get a little crust around the edge. I like that crust. That's really good flavor. Mmm, yum. So, carrots. Another thing you can do is give them away. Mark's parents didn't have very good carrot crop this year, so we're going to give them maybe a whole bucket full. Or else you could go to the food shelf when you have a pile of extra food, or else you can even sell it to the grocery stores if they're buying. You gotta feel them out and see what they want and what you have. But there's lots of ways of getting rid of your produce if you have way too much. Oh, my timer's going off. The little ones already came out. Little muffins, and the big ones, they look delicious. Now they look a little brown, but that's because there's so much sugar in them, because of natural sugar and whatnot. Now these ones aren't going to crack like muffins. They're more like almost like cupcakes, and they spring. Ow! That one was a little warm. I must have hit some pineapple. They spring back to the touch, and gotta switch fingers because that one's too warm. And that's our true test. So some of them might be hard to get out because they've gotten onto the edge. All you do is you take a knife and you slide them around. Oh, that one's free. And that one will be free. And then you just slide them around the edge so that they slide freely around in there. And there's our muffins. I'll taste test one for you in a little bit, but I have to let them cool so that I can put the frosting on, or else they'll just lose all over the place. So join me for that. The cupcakes are cool, and I took them, or muffins, whichever way you're going with them, took it out of its tin wrapper. It came out really nice. And what we're going to do now, when Lily's done with the frosting, is put some frosting on it and put some nuts on this plate so I can dunk them in. Kind of got ahead of the schedule here. So I was so hungry. I have my bite on the island ready to go. Nice dollop of frosting into the nuts. Look at that. Mmm. Yummy. Is it good? Mm-hmm. Bye. Have a good afternoon. The nice thing is, I can't go on. Yeah, making faces at me.
The American Housewife was brought to you in part by the following. Midtown Foods, your locally owned grocery stores, the values you deserve and the quality you expect. 2 locations, open 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. Midtown Foods. North Castle Specialties, for all your screen printing needs. Call us at 454-3538 or visit the showroom at 1260 Sugarloaf Road off Highway 43 in Winona.